Welcome back to Shabbos Covenant Oneg. Thanks for joining us yet again on another week. We have an amazing guest this week. Fitting into the concept of Lohodos U'Lahalel, we have renowned Chazan Yitzy Spinner, also a very well-known Simcha vocalist, and just he has a tremendous amount of information to share with us regarding Nusach. I know whenever I have a question or a query regarding what the appropriate Nusach, tune, something that has to do with Tefillah, he's definitely one of the first people that I send a message to. We're going to get to him shortly. Just a quick message about this week's Parsha and what we're leading up to. A lot of Svarim connect the Parshios that have to do with Yosef to Chanukah, simply because it's that time of the year, but on deeper levels because Yosef in a way very strongly represents what a Yid is supposed to be in Gullus. Yosef spent much of his life in captivity, trying to make his way, through hatred, through allegations, etc., etc., and nevertheless, we find ourselves, as Klal Yisrael, blessing our children, his children are the epitome of what a Yid can be in Gullus, the fact that we can keep our walls strong. And similar to the menorah and other elements of this holiday, we're lighting the light inside, and that light transcends and is a light outside, and the mitzvah is to be shown outside. Another couple of interesting connections regarding Yosef. The pasuk says, Eila Tolos Yaakov Yosef. Some want to say in a way that Yaakov represents Sukkot, the holiday of Sukkot, because the pasuk mentions that Yaakov built Sukkos for his animals. Similarly, we find the 8-day D'Rabbanan holiday. We have an 8-day D'Oraisa, which is Sukkot, the 8-day D'Rabbanan being Chanukah. Chanukah, representative of Yosef in his majesty and glory. The beauty of Yosef rivaled by the beauty of Greece, whereas Greece is simply external and completely fixated and focused on that beauty that's fleeting. Yosef's beauty is more than skin deep. It's also a beauty of character. Yosef's one of the only people that we refer to as Yosef HaTzadik. The message of Chanukah clearly being that we need to refine and purify and lighten up our days and lives. And by doing so, Mitzvah Hashem, we can be a light unto the nations, light unto ourselves, especially during these times when our whole focus is being at home and sort of gathering up our intents and energies. We should be zocheh to be able to transmit that and bring that outside. Have a good Shabbos, and without any further ado, Yitzy Spinner.
Here we are. It's the end of Chanukah. We're just about to transition from a life of Chanukah to a life of not Chanukah. And what does that mean for us? It means no more Al Hanisim. We just spent so many days, we spent a week or so saying Al Hanisim countless times. In the Shemona Esrei 3 times a day, we said it through benching. Who knows how many times we say Al Hanisim, depending how much you eat, of course. But now we're about to go into Shabbos, we're about to say goodbye to Chanukah, and we're about to go into a post-Al Hanisim life. What I want to focus on for just a moment is not the Al Hanisim itself, but the one letter that's usually in parentheses in your Siddurim just before Al Hanisim, Ve Al Hanisim. That Vav is in parentheses. And the question, of course, is, why is there a Vav in parentheses? What is it doing there? Should we say it? Should we not say it? Everybody looks at it and says, I don't know, should I say the Vav? Should I not say the Vav? If you think about it, we sing Al Hanisim. The Gabbai gives that klop on the shulchan to say Al Hanisim. The sign in the front of the shul says Al Hanisim. But is it Al Hanisim or Ve Al Hanisim? Well, if you go back to some of our earliest sources, the Gaonim have in their Siddurim, in their Machzorim, they have different nuschos, different versions of a Vav or not a Vav in different places, actually. You'll find Ve Al Hanisim in places, and then you'll also find Bayamim Hahem U Bizman Hazeh. Now, what is that Vav going to represent at the end of that Al Hanisim formula? Al Hanisim V'yala Porkan V'yala Gevuros V'yala Teshuos V'yal HaMilchamos She'asisa Lavosenu Bayamim Hahem Bazman Hazeh. Bayamim Hahem, of course, means in those days, the days of Chanukah, when the Nisim happened, when those miracles occurred. Bazman Hazeh, in this time of year. But if we say Bayamim Hahem Uvizman Hazeh, then we're saying in those days when the miracles happened, as well as the miracles that are happening today. It changes the meaning completely. Well, how about the Vav at the beginning of Ve Al Hanisim or Al Hanisim? We start the entire section of Modim saying Modim Anachnu Lach. We are thankful. We are thankful to you, Hashem. And then we continue with paragraphs that follow that begin with a Vav. Ve Al Kulam. And then we continue all the way forward, continuing that bracha and finishing Baruch Atah Hashem, Hatov Shimcha Ulecha Na'eh Lehodos, to give thanks. tying us back to the modim from before. One long bracha, seemingly, of thanksgiving. And so now we have this al hanisim that we interject over here, al hanisim or ve al hanisim, and it makes a very big difference in whether you include this vav or not. The geonim that omitted the vav seem to be argued upon by Tosfos, who comes later. And Tosfos says, no, we should have that vav. Put that vav in there, ve al hanisim, continue that thought. It's only one of two places that I can think of where the Baalei Tosfos argued on the earlier Gaonim about what to say in davening, the other being Kol Nidre. But here we focus on this Ve al Hanisim. The Mishnah Brura, in fact, says you should say Ve al Hanisim. Put that vav in there because it's a continuous thought. Ve al nisecha shebechol yom imanu. Ve al nifleosecha v'tovosecha shebechol eis erev v'avoker v'tzaharayim, etc., etc. We give thanks and we recognize every single nace that's being done every day, and also Ve al Hanisim. And also these nisim that were done at the time of Chanukah, bayamim hahem bazman hazeh, that were done in those days at this particular time. That's our al hanisim, and that's our ve al hanisim. That's why the Mishnah Brura paskins to say ve al hanisim. Say ve al hanisim because it's a continuous thought. Ve al nisecha, ve al hanisim, and ve al kulam, and finally ve chol hachayim. Once we pass Chanukah's no longer here, we don't say al hanisim, but we do say ve'al nisecha. And if you think about it for just a moment, if you let Chanukah pass you by, and you're not inspired by all of the miracles of Chanukah that happened, not just the miracle of the light, not just the miracle of the oil, the 8 days that it burnt miraculously, but the actual text of the al hanisim that we say in the paragraph, Bimei Matisyahu, Ravta es rivam, Danta es dinam, Nakamta es nikmasam. We have a whole list of miracles that happened there in the time of Chanukah. These are miracles that happened then, not just the oil. These were very, very apparent miracles, just like we have every single day. Ve'al nisecha shebechol yom imanu, erev vavoker v'tzaharayim. Every single day, every single time of day, we have miracles that we are surrounded by. And if we don't let that al hanisim become a ve al hanisim, if we don't let that paragraph of al hanisim inspire the daily miracles to make us appreciate every single day just a little bit more, I think we've missed the point. We need to let that ve al hanisim let us inspire every single day. And so that's my hope. My hope is that as we just come to a close now, Chanukah is just about over. We'll say this paragraph, al hanisim, ve al hanisim, just a few more times. You'll hear that klap on the shulchan, and you'll notice say that paragraph. As soon as you flip the page, you'll see it there in gray. Ve al hanisim. Let that carry you forward into Shabbos. Into Shabbos when you won't say that paragraph, but you will say ve al nisecha. And have in mind every single miracle that happens every day. It's easy to miss them, but it's also easy to find them. All we have to do is focus. Wishing a wonderful, wonderful Shabbos full of lots of light and lots of nisim. To all the Stiebel hoppers out in Brooklyn, hope to see you all soon. Good Shabbos, everyone.
Hakim